a new kind of video. There was a time when I was in a relationship with a very, very terrible kind of person. And I didn't think he was terrible. I hoped that he wasn't, because I was quite in love. And I thought I was being a good person, trying to love him, trying to care, trying to fix his problems. And what happened is, one doesn't always realize that they're working with a plan, and the true colors sort of come out as you get to know each other. And I had a very long and hard journey forgiving myself for that incident, making peace with the fact that I fell for this person. I came to love someone who was really just using me, and I felt super guilty about having fallen for him, about not having realized what he is, and then also for not doing something sooner when I realized something's not up. But in a way, every experience we have is wired to teach us something about life. And I learned very, very many important things, very expensive lessons about self-preservation and not needing an excuse to remove yourself from the situation. Because ladies, there's something we struggle to do. Sometimes we're in a relationship but we feel like we need some reason to end it. And I remember on one of the last days when we were not lacquer in that relationship, and I really wanted out. I felt like something needs to happen, something big. Otherwise, me just dumping him for some reason is not justifiable. So I waited for him to make a very racist remark, and it helped me so that I could tell him, you know what, we're not gonna gel lacquer because I don't agree with your political stance. I'm not as racist as you. And that didn't really have to happen. I could have just left. But sometimes it takes very long for us to reach that point, and it takes very long for something to happen or something to go wrong before we can really say, see, it doesn't work. Look, things aren't working out. But your emotions and how you're feeling and the experiences that you have together is justification enough to leave a relationship. If you're constantly in fear and you're constantly stressed, that is reason enough to leave a relationship. You don't have to have a fight first. Even though it helps to look for something big to happen. Sometimes something big's not going to happen, and you are spending all your energy and all your time waiting for something to happen when you could have left long ago. You could have been happy for much longer. So here's a little bit of advice from me. If you need an excuse to leave, if you're looking for an excuse to leave, then that is a sign for you that you shouldn't be there in the first place. You should not need to look for excuses to end a relationship. That's a sign that it's not going well. So if you're in that place, if you're feeling alone and sad and scared, you don't know how to get out, and you're waiting for excuses, you're waiting for things to go wrong, then here's something that you can do. Just leave. Just leave the relationship. Your feelings and your thoughts are reason enough. If you don't feel healthy and safe and loved in a relationship, that is reason enough to not be there. I hope you can have the courage to do that. And if it's not possible, I really hope that the universe sends you some kind of trick to help you get out of the relationship. I remember it was one of the days of a local arts festival, and I was playing in this sort of Art Nouveau piece where we made music on typewriters, and we wore these overalls. It's all about knitting and giving clothing to poor communities. And the group I was playing with consisted out of so many different cultures. And after our last performance, we were all invited to go and have a beer and to just, get our pay for the performance. We were actually doing it as charity work, but they did scrape something together for us. So I was invited to go and have a beer, and that was the final straw. This man who I was in a relationship with was slowly revealing the kind of person he is. And when I mentioned I'm going to have a beer with a group, he started calling people names and saying racist things, and that was my ticket out. I wasn't even really planning on going to have a beer. I didn't even get there, but that was a ticket out, because the moment I said, I'm going to spend some time and chill with these nice people and get to know them, he was furious immediately, because they're not the right race, and all his true colors shone forth in all their glory. And I could say to him, you know what, with that kind of language, you and I are not suited for each other anymore. So I hope that you can find clever ways to get out of tricky situations if that's what you need. But always remember that you don't need something big to happen before you leave. And if you need something, you're looking for something, then maybe you shouldn't be there in the first place. And making a decision to honor your own happiness, that is a big enough, important enough occurrence. Anyways, if you're stuck in a relationship like that, you're not alone. Don't hate yourself for it. These people are very good at finding soft-hearted women or men to manipulate, and so they probably chose you because you would have felt guilty for leaving. So just remember that, and be strong, and you'll get out. You'll get out and you'll be okay. Don't give up, don't give in, be clever. Look for ways out, and you will find them.